Good morning, my peoples. So I've had a topic that I've wanted to talk about for the last couple of days, but I've had to sit and kind of think about it because how do I present this? It's a tough one. It's especially for people who weren't raised with this or more or less kind of lost the knowledge or empowerment to do this through abusive relationships. And I'll tell you what, this is a skill that can be learned, can be relearned, and if you do it, it can really change your life. And that is learning to identify your needs and communicate them where appropriate. What does that mean? That means, okay, so we've got an entire company who has made a thing out of how when you're hungry, you're not yourself. Hunger is a basic need. Food's a basic need. Water's a basic need. Shelter's a basic need. And safety is also a basic need. I gotta be in gear first. When you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that stuff is really, it's on the bottom there. Those are basic, meet these first before anything else. Some people can do it differently, but I would say generally they're the exception. That's just kind of what I've seen, though. Most of us are driven by our needs. We behave according to getting those needs met in healthy or unhealthy ways. It just depends on what we know, what skills that we have, what we're able to do in that moment. So the challenge is identifying those needs and meeting them in the healthiest ways possible. Because there are plenty of unhealthy ways to meet your needs, and those unhealthy ways actually will leave you feeling less satisfied than the healthy ways. So, take hunger, for instance. All of these needs, if they're not met, they influence how we behave, obviously. So, hunger, we are, I'm pretty sure, all familiar with being hangry, right? Okay. Yeah, just wanted to double check. I've been hangry, it's a whole thing. Shoot! Oh, I forgot my sinus stuff. It's in my other bag. Oh well. I'll just have to live with the sniffles today. A lot of times we will try to meet our need for shelter, for safety, in ways that aren't healthy for us or other people. If we don't have the means to do so in a healthy way. And that's where you see, a lot of deviant behavior or jobs, professions that are less than morally unassailable, should we say, because we're trying to meet a need. And that's tough because what do? You're obviously you have the need of shelter. What I'm getting at, though, is, a lot of times we'll have a need for connection. Like genuine, authentic, just real connection with another person, but how do we get that? Communication. When, say, you need to be heard. When you're in a relationship with the other person, you got to talk about something, whatever it might be. How are you communicating what you need from that person or in that communication? How are you communicating that? One thing that I've seen a lot of this, is that I've done a lot of this. When we try to talk to somebody, or they try to talk to us, a lot of times we'll immediately jump into problem solving mode, when what that person might need is just for us to listen. So it really helps to identify whether you need someone to listen or to problem solve in that moment, and to communicate that to them. Because here's the thing, somebody can absolutely love you to death, but if you are problem solving when they need you to listen, it's not gonna go well. It's really not gonna go well, I promise, if that's not communicated. Because there's gonna be resentment, they're not listening to me, and then, the other party is, they're not listening to me, they don't care, blah, 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 I'm trying to help, they don't want solutions, but maybe they just need somebody to listen, So when your needs are clearly communicated at the get-go, it prevents a lot of misunderstandings, it prevents a lot of resentment and frustration. So in your communication with people, obviously don't just clobber them with whatever it is that you're needing to talk about. Definitely attend to boundaries, ask if they have a time, let them know that there's something that you do want or need to talk about, and then, state your need. It's important, it helps communication go faster, and better. That way you're not fighting about what you need, because you're communicating it clearly. Anyway, sleep is another big one. Are you tired? Are you exhausted? Are you running on a sleep deficit? Is it affecting how you are processing things? How you are perceiving things? Now, I work more than full-time, and I go to school more than full-time. During the week, I generally run on a little bit of a sleep deficit. And guess what? I am aware of this. So anytime that I encounter a situation that might trigger me, trigger an emotional reaction from me, say, traffic, I'm able to filter that through the lens of knowledge of, I haven't quite gotten enough sleep. I might be a little cranky because of that. I might be interpreting this differently than I normally would if I got enough sleep. So being able to apply that filter is really helpful, and it's gotten to be so automatic that I don't really overreact to anything anymore. I used to a lot, but now I'm just like, oh, okay. That's what it is. If I have to speak up about something, say something, I will, but it's not going to be a huge emotional three-ring circus, It's not going to be histrionics. It's not going to be any sort of man, I'm just catching all the lights today. It's not going to be a big deal. Not the end of the world. So, with that, when that filter becomes so automatic, I don't really have to think about it. It's already in the back of my brain that, okay, you know what, I might be a little bit more emotionally, maybe, I don't know, vulnerable to reacting more than I would be, but it heads everything off in the past, if that makes sense. When you recognize that need, right? And then when you recognize that need too, you can help to mitigate it by creating a plan to actually meet that need rather than, just complaining about it. See, I'm a night owl. 100%. I would be up until 3 in the morning if you let me. That's when I do all my best stuff. That's when I'm artsy. That's when I'm my most creative is early in the morning. Now, when I have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work, I can't really be a night owl. I'm kind of working against my biological predisposition to do that, and so I have to have some extra measures in place to help me get a good night's sleep. And one of those is, having a good bedtime routine, allowing enough time for myself to sleep, which is the hard part with, how crazy my schedule is. And yes, I've been told I'm nuts for doing both work and school full time, but we'll see how it pans out by the end of the semester. So, sleep, going back to that, is your deep sleep is where I believe it's the fluid from your spinal cord washes your brain. So what that is kind of akin to is when you've got a computer that's been on for a while and it's kind of glitching a little bit and it needs a restart, but you got to go through the whole shutdown sequence, let it rest for a little bit, and then start it back up again. That's basically what deep sleep does for your brain. It's that rest and relax. I believe it's deep sleep. I think it's REM. There's, I think, 4 stages of sleep. I think there's REM, and then there's 3 that aren't REM. I learned this over the summer in my psychology class, but obviously I would have to look it up again to remember the details of it. But sleep is important, okay? You don't get the proper kind of sleep, you're not going to be functioning as well as you could be. So keep that in mind, I track my sleep with a fitness tracker, and it has really, really helped me to be able to recognize when sleep might be affecting my perception. So, I check that. I don't have emotional instability issues. I used to. Oh, for sure, I used to. Especially when I was with the abuser, because that's what they do, is they play with your emotions and get you to be super unbalanced because they can control you that way. But I've learned a lot of tools to be able to handle my emotions in healthy ways and process them, feel my emotions, and then see what they're telling me, and then take it appropriate action. So needs, right? I know I'm a little all over the place this morning, but bear with me. We only have a few more minutes. So needs. You may think, oh, I need that shirt. Oh, I need to go drinking with my buddies. I need a new accessory for my car. Okay. I need this achievement. I need this accomplishment. Well, here's the thing, is there is an underlying need for that. It's not the thing that you are focused on. It's an underlying basic need that you are perceiving or believing that what you're after in the moment is going to meet. It might be connection, you know. You may need that connection. You may be needing safety. You may be needing, you know, whatever it is. But there's always an underlying need that drives our behavior. At least that's my belief. That's what I've seen in my own actions and behavior, especially in the past. You know, there's no judgment there because we're all trying to meet needs, and there are appropriate and inappropriate ways of doing that. In the past, I didn't have the tools to get my needs met in healthy ways. And healthy ways are ways that respect you and respect the people around you. So, you know, don't sell yourself short. Don't ignore your needs, because if you ignore them, they are going to be driving your behavior in one way or another. You may not realize it, but that's what's it's going to be happening. So, you know, be aware of it, because we can't fix problems we're not aware of. And, you know, when you know better, you can do better. So, do better. First step is to learn to identify those needs. Pretty straightforward, you know? But it's a skill that not everybody, not all of us have, and we need to work on. So, that being said, learn how to work on it, learn how to recognize it, and have a great day, guys.